Hi there. Well, first of all, thanks, and I appreciate you taking the time and any feedback that you can possibly give me to help me better progress and develop this unit. What you're looking at here is the home page, what I like to call just a general layout. You see the two classes that I will be teaching that I actually do teach now is a CP Algebra 1 and an Integrated Algebra 1. The unit that I'm focusing on is Unit 1 here, which is Introduction to Functions, which is going to be from the CP Algebra 1 class. So if you click here, see Unit 1, this is going to take you to the overall, this is going to take you to the overall Introduction to Functions, just the layouts, the unit overview as I like to call it. Just the list and rundown of what's expected of students as to what they should know before we get into this lesson, and then each tab here you will see that the slope of a line, graphing linear equations as you continue down is basically the different sections that we will discuss here. If you were to click on each of these, it would take you to basically the day-by-day, step-by-step process looking at each of those. As you scroll down a little further, you can see the actual learning targets, the core standards, and where this whole unit derived from. So if we just quickly take a look at each of these at a snapshot, I'll try to make this as quick and painless as possible. Each of these, as you see, will be similar setup, day 1, day 2, 3, so on and so forth. What we're going to do in class, whether it's in the media center or actually in class, and then for homework. Now, obviously, these are all subject to change based off of students' overall comprehension and understanding of the material. Each day will typically have a section similar to this, like day 1, we're going to meet in the media center. This is the activity. Things that are underlined are basically taking to links, and all the links that are PDF or Word file are in a certain category, and I can show you that here momentarily. But if you click on, for example, here, the first thing is basically coordinate plane activity, which I know it's kind of hard to read, but if you click on it, it should download real quick. Kind of hard and difficult to see, and it does here. The coordinate plane activity, this is basically an introduction to the coordinate plane, which students should know. Gives them step-by-step, watch the video to link day 1, and then they're going to form a concept map. And the concept map, there's a rubric here attached, and you can look at that as well. What's expected from students. Let me back click here. The video they should watch is a video that I've used, not this in particular, but from a website called Bright Storm. It's a pretty cool website that gives basically a teacher that's just running it down for them in a more simple, condensed format. So I would have students watch this, sort of the flipped classroom, which I've started here momentarily, and they can click and watch. Gives a little synopsis here at the bottom, and also a couple practice problems here as well that they can work on. And I really found this website to help out in my classroom overall as well. And then they were going to go and create a coordinate plane concept map. Basically, what did they learn? They'll click on this, and this will take you to the website and that they would be working with. And this is the example, and the example is actually right here, bubbl.us. And this is basically what I'm looking for. And the main idea in this case would be the coordinate plane, any vocabulary, and it's also set up there in that overall layout of this activity, and then the key points, and they could go there and they could intertwine and mingle what they wanted to work with. And you can scroll down. I'm not going to go over everything. Watch a video. This is just basically, that'll be for homework. That was the other part, was classwork. This is actually me uploading a video, and they could watch this to YouTube. This is actually to my YouTube account. What a slope, but we're not going to get into that because that'll take obviously way too long. But for homework then, what I want them to do would basically look at slope given a line or given a graph, and then there's a blog post using the website Collaborate Classroom. I'm just looking to see basically did they watch the video from last night's homework as part of it, and here's a discussion here, and students would obviously already be familiar with this website and be able to upload stuff, and to, in this case, after watching the video, what is slope? How does slope affect your life? And then they would upload a picture of something that reminds them personally of slope. And I think I had like a mountain because that's the first thing that comes to me. And then we'd come back, and as you see, the next day they would meet in their assigned groups as I have and discuss the three big ideas, which you can look at here later. And then you can just scroll down and see certain other things, and as far as a test quiz and other types of notes and homework and what's expected from them. And at the bottom of each of these sections is basically a tab that's going to lead them into the next section. Investigating change in slope and y-intercepts, basically introducing them into slope-intercept form, which is the next discussion here, graphing linear equations, and they will have to, to use something called the GeoGebra, or I always mispronounce it, where they can simply come in here and input, say, type in an equation, y equals 2x plus 5, and this is part of the lesson. Oops. They can see the graph here specifically, and then they type in another equation where maybe they change to 3x and keep the plus 5 part. And they can see the overall change, and they would be asked to print this out and to come up with observations based off of changing certain things. And this allows them to physically see the change and the effect of changing your slope and y-intercept. You can check out anything else from there as well. Just want to show you some of the tools that I'm going to be using here. Again, continuing the Media Center, after we look at some notes in class, day 12, work on an activity in class, functions defined by tables and graphs. We're going to look at coming up with functions and graph activity. This is the overall layout, and again, you can click on it to make it easier to read. But what I'm looking at is we're going to this Create a Graph website here. And this is a pretty cool website where we were just talked about bar and line graphs, and they're going to come up with and investigate maybe a certain statistic as to snowfall in Chardon, Ohio. And they could click on, say, bar graph and design it any way they want to. It's sort of open-ended. Type in their data, label their x and y axis, the graph. They can label, decide what font they want to use, and then they can preview it. Now, the example I gave, as I said, and I gave them an example what I'm looking for. I was looking for 2, and you can see this in the overall. Well, this is snowfall amounts in Chardon in 2011 and 2012, and it gives you a nice, neat graph. And what I'm looking for, just make sure everything's there and provided. And I really like that website there as well. There's a railroad function, basically problem, talking about cell phone plans, which incorporates a P21 standard, so you can take a look at that. And then the last thing here, continue with notes. And the final project to wrap up the unit is on Glogster. And I really enjoy this website and what I wanted them to do is basically take about 10 or more topics or main ideas and incorporate them in basically a poster format that was very interactive. And this is the one that I came up with and showed. Now, it doesn't have all 10, but as you can see, it incorporates, here's Rene Descartes, here's what he is, and this is what he did. Gives a little synopsis about slope, and that's just a little bit of what we did. Here's a quadratic equation. It's very interactive. It allows students to incorporate video, sound, words, you name it, pictures. They can put it in there. It's a good review actually before the overall lesson, the overall chapter test. So and that's pretty much it. And if you will scroll over here to the right, you can see that Unit 1, Introduction to Functions, take you to, hopefully, yeah, here we go. Um, if you click on over here, you can see that the quizzes and tests are here. All the files are there. If you click on here, the video summary and survey, um, this should have a link to the survey, and you can take that and fill out and help me out there as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Yeah, there it is. And thanks again.